Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another Elite Life with your girl Sam.
And Dani.
Okay, this week we're going to be talking about something really sensitive. So, trigger warning, we're going to talk about domestic violence, narcissistic abuse, and possibly some other things. So, if that is something that you are not able to listen to or experience with us in this stage of your healing journey, it's okay to click to the next episode. We want to make sure that you're not caught off guard and you know what is happening. But this is an episode that I had confidence was going to happen. However, I didn't know when. It's something that you and I have discussed a couple of times. But we have some things going on in our life currently. And I'm going to be really, really careful what I share because it is not necessarily my story to share. But Rich's sister is currently leaving a really, really bad relationship situation. And he has chosen to lash out at the whole family and hurl threats and defamation and you name it, it's there. It's not something that I even wanted to address publicly because, I really only address people that I have an ounce of respect for, and I have none for him. However, I did have to share on my personal Facebook page just defending what was going on. There was a lot of lies going around. The majority of it we were able to have taken down, but I just felt the need to share the truth about how Rich and I were involved in this and the proof. The proof, and there's so much more proof that will be coming out. But it made me think back to the things that you went through. And, like I shared on my Facebook page, navigating this with his sister was like deja vu. Because when you're dealing with a narcissist, they do not like losing control. That's like that and perception are the most important things to them, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
And so as he's losing control, he is lashing out and walking this, the legal side of things and getting the police involved, and it's confusing. And they're not always forthcoming and they're not always helpful. And so I'm really blessed that I could be there for her because they don't scare me, and I'm not going to sit back and allow them to downplay the situation. And so if you are in a situation where you're trying to leave, and again, no wonder it takes a woman on average 7 times to leave an abusive relationship because the support just isn't there. It's scary, it's potentially expensive. If you don't have support from friends and family, it's almost impossible to do it alone. There aren't very many programs out there that you can reach out to. There are some, and the ones that are active are so overtaxed. And so, just a side note, if that's something you've even ever thought about doing, is donating to women's shelters and, funds that help domestic violence survivors or victims, please don't spend another second thinking about it. Do it. Because not every situation is like this or the one you were in where you had family to fall back on. A lot of these women are taken out of state and away from their families like you were. And so that's another common tactic from a narcissist.
There's so many layers to what you have to deconstruct to get out.
Yeah.
On top of everything else you're going to have to fight and deconstruct after you're out.
So let's go back to the beginning of your story. You were a teenager when you met him. And it was all love bombing in the beginning.
Absolutely.
So no wonder you let every guard down.
I had like the perfect storm. I had no supervision, no guidance. I was living life for the first time, unsupervised.
Yeah.
Um, we had been raised pretty sheltered, so everything was new and wow and wonderful.
Yes.
Um, and it's high school.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't take very much to impress a teenage girl. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I met him in high school because of the lack of guidance and support that I had at home because I lived with mom.
Yeah.
Um, Pretty quickly, I was with him all the time. Um, and in the looking back now as an adult, I was like, what in the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
As a teenager in my brain, right? Like we would do whatever we want. I would be with him. I would stay with him. We would be out partying, doing whatever, but you were getting up and going to school the next day. Now, as a kid in my brain, I'm like, oh, he loves me. He wants me to graduate. No, he don't. He want me out of his hair so he can do whatever it was he was doing. He was controlling the situation. He was controlling our lives.
Yes. He controlled every aspect of your life, even as a teenager. And like you
Yes.
said, he disguised it as, I love you. I want the
Mhm.
best for you. I care for you. But there was also a sinister side to that.
I remember the first thing that happened that should have been like somebody should have grabbed me and just smacked me.
Mm-hmm.
In high school, I could hang out with anybody. I was friends with anybody, and there was this kid that had saved my tail and was the only reason I was passing computer class.
Yeah.
And he needed a date for prom, and I was like, "Bet, I got you." We were all groups of friends, like it was no big deal. Um, and so I was going, and he, the ex husband number one, when we were dating, he showed up while I was getting ready.
Mm-hmm.
Attempted to destroy my dress, made these passive aggressive cloaked threats. Um, I still went because at that time I had not been completely just beat down. I still had
He
some,
had not been able to isolate you fully at that point either.
yeah. So I went, had a blast. And there was rules before I left, and I remember laughing at him. He was like, "You can't ride in the limo with everybody. You can't take pictures," because back then that was the big thing, was to go to these little pop-up shops where you do these cheesy ass pictures. And I was like, yep, I hear you. Did everything I wanted to do, and then when the night ended, of course I get dropped off at my apartment uh, in the limousine,
Yeah.
hooping and hollering, having a good time. Apparently, he and some buddies were parked across the street, and so before I could make it through the parking lot, he's pulling in, snatching me up. He is hitting everything but me.
Which is a very common intimidation
Mm-hmm.
tactic. It is so scary to experience that.
And thinking back, I'm like, where was an adult
Right.
to snatch him up, and where was my common sense?
And why were the friends not, stepping in between and telling him that that's wrong? That's, again, that is a common tactic that I feel like abusive men or boys will do and narcissists will do, is use their size to intimidate you. If they can't mind fuck you, they will utilize their size to make you feel scared and small and like you don't have control of the situation.
And it's all manipulation after that to keep control.
And destroying your things even takes away a sense of safety and identity, because then you don't have, people can say what they want. Things matter to a young girl.
Absolutely.
And so if that is happening and we're exposing all the red flags, if that is happening to you or someone you know, please understand that is not love. That's not because, oh, he's so desperate because he loves me so much. He's just panicking because he loves me. He is abusive. That is straight up abuse and manipulation.
He is broken.
Yes.
And controlling you is not going to fix his brokenness.
Yes.
If he breaks something, I'm sorry, does not fix it.
Yes.
There are some doors, I'm sorry, does not ever need to open.
Yep. 100%.
And the abuse and control, and it's sometimes it's hard to spot until there's layers already built up.
Yeah.
It's really hard. the important piece is as soon as you start recognizing it, start identifying it out loud.
Yeah.
And you don't need. I think I got stuck for so long. This drives me crazy nowadays. And I beg people not to do this. I needed validation from answers, like why. I needed to know why. No, I don't.
No, because why is because he's a piece of shit. That's the
Absolutely.
only why. That's the only answer you need to have.
I wanted to know why he did it, why he said it.
Yeah.
Why did I trigger? Learning to take I out of his actions was the biggest tool I could give myself.
Yes. Yes, 100%. And so it rocked on. At this point, I was in Florida with Dad, and you were in Mississippi with Mom. And so there was a lot of separation between us, and there was a lot of unknown there on both of our sides. So this era, I really didn't see firsthand. I just know based off of what you told me and the little bit that I did experience when I was there, visiting. You could not be out of his sight. You had, if you left the room, if he was at the house and you left the room for too long, he was yelling, "Hey, Danielle." He wanted to check up on you all the time. And so this rocked on until you got pregnant.
Yeah.
At 18, 17.
And even that was a control tactic, right? By that point, I was not even living at home. Mom had just come home one day and was like, "Deuces, I'm out." And I either had to go back to Florida to live with Dad, or, of course, he shows up.
Which is a whole nother layer, because when you throw abandonment, and our mom is not a healthy person, a mentally healthy person.
Right.
She struggles with her own set of things, and she's an alcoholic. And so when, as a child, you came home and the apartment was empty except for your things, and she said, "I'm bouncing, figure it out." That just drove you further into the only stability at this point that you had left, which was an abusive relationship.
Yeah, and there was no, "Is that where I'm going?" It was, "Here, let me throw you into it."
Yes.
Because when you tell a 17-year-old who has already a poor relationship with her father, "Hey, your only other option is to go live with your dad," and then this boy shows up,
Yeah.
U-Haul in hand, it's going to save the day, promising you the world, buys you a ring, makes all these promises. Absolutely, I'm jumping in the U-Haul.
Right.
I'm out.
Right.
And and in my brain, right, I went from one fire. He got me out of the fire. I didn't realize at the time I had jumped from one fire to another.
Right.
Because I still had the rose-colored glasses on. So all of the things that were setting me up, getting me in position to be controlled, I thought I was making a happy home.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing a good job.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah. And you had, and again, going back, I mean, I've shared a little bit, but our dad was abusive, verbally and physically. And so at least with the boyfriend, you had, in your opinion, still some autonomy and freedom, but in reality, not so much.
And that's where some of the manipulation came into. He had already been, he was unsupervised, living how he wanted to. He was 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
So he had a little bit more freedom. Like, he was already going and doing how he wanted. So what feels like freedom is, "Hey, you can party with us, but you have to stay within eyesight."
Yeah.
"Hey, you can drink this alcohol and do these things, but you have to do it right next to me so I can protect you and keep you safe."
Yeah.
I'm freaking 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That sounds like a love. Like,
Yeah.
you really love me.
Yeah.
And then even as it...
And real love, just to clarify, would have been, "No, you don't need to be involved in any of this. You're too young. And that's the way I'll protect you, is I will keep you far, far away from these things."
And it just spiraled. It went, so we were living together.
Yeah.
That's how I ended up. It was my senior year and I got pregnant.
Yeah.
Even that manipulation. I knew I was on birth control.
Yeah.
And I thought that I was just a forgetful, irresponsible kids do, right?
Mhm.
Like, it used to aggravate me. I was like, no, I know I have my birth control on the bathroom sink. And then when I kept misplacing it, and he would get so mad, why are you misplacing your birth control? Do you know how important it is?
Uh,
I would move it to another location thinking, oh, well, this is where I fix my bowl of cereal every morning. So this is where I'm going to leave it. And it would magically be gone. And him the whole time going, you have got to do better. And me going, I really do.
what? Wow. And that's another thing, like making you question your reality and if you are crazy.
There's still things that I am unpacking and finding truth to, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's still situations that happen where for years I've thought this is exactly how it happened.
Yeah.
And then when information comes out or I unpack it, I'm like, you bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bastard.
Yes, because you're healing and growing as a person. And so you're able to look at situations from a healed, whole standpoint. And it's just crazy. So you end up pregnant,
Hmm.
but you do end up leaving him.
I do. So I found the night I found out I was pregnant, he made a comment. He let it slip. And I was like, what the hell did you just say? He was like, it only took me 2 years. And I was like, what took you 2 years?
Mm,
And that's when it started coming out. And I was like, no. And I'm be honest, there's no way that's true. There's no way that's true. He's just wanting us to be happy, right? Like, he's wanting us to keep it.
mm-hmm.
So it peters on. It's really hard. Like, we're trying to pay bills, and I end up dropping out of school, and I ended up in Florida for my baby shower.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was there, he, for a whole 24 hours, is calling and texting me, drunk texting me.
Yeah.
And he's just angry, happy, like I'm not answering enough, all these things. And he said something about our money,
Mm-hmm.
and it come out that for that 24-hour bender, he had blew our bill money on drugs and alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember sitting in the driveway of my best friend's house, sitting in her
Mm-hmm.
car, big old belly pregnant. And I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
I can't do this. Like, I can't raise a kid by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And be honest with you, there's chunks of that my memory is just
Well,
gone.
that's a common byproduct of trauma is that your nervous system is so hot wired at that point. You're just so all over the place that you will literally shut down and lose chunks of time. And by the way, if that is happening or has happened to you, you are not crazy.
Nope.
That is literally a survival mechanism in your body. It is trying to self-preserve.
Yep.
So,
And that's not something that just goes away.
no.
If you stay in it, the longer you stay in it, the longer the damage is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because however far along I happen to have been at that point,
Mm-hmm.
that's the last memory I can kind of recall. I think I must have moved back in with Dad for a hot minute
You
while I
did.
was trying to find an apartment.
Yeah. And that was a train wreck as well. And that's what I was kind of referring to in your situation is that not in every situation is there a supportive family because he was not supportive. Yes, technically you could live there, but you were berated daily about how dumb you were and how you really screwed up your life and you're going to have to do better and that at that point is not what needed to happen because technically he failed as a parent up to that point. He could have done so much better. And so when there is someone in your life who is trying to come out of a bad situation, they don't need you to preach at them. They need you to love them and support them and help them heal and help them get back on their feet. As hard as they're working to get, to rectify situations, and trying to undo trauma and abuse and hurt, you have to be a support. That doesn't mean you have to put up with all bad behavior. Yes, have boundaries and standards, but don't be a part of the harm that's happening.
People need to realize there is a huge difference between enabling someone's behavior
Mm-hmm.
and situation and supporting them.
Mm-hmm.
I needed support.
Yes.
I feel like I was met with a lot of lack of, like, and I think that's what kept me stuck in the cycle of continually going back.
Yeah.
Well, I went home to my dad, who's supposed to love me unconditionally,
Yeah.
and I wasn't allowed to go out and eat with him in public. I wasn't allowed to go out. It was an embarrassment.
Yeah.
So my brain wired to understand that you love me, that's just the consequence to my action.
Yeah.
So inevitably, when baby number one come along, and I was hearing, I'm not raising this, you got to figure it out. My best option in that, moment, because you don't have very long to think, especially with all the hormones, is go back.
Yeah.
And in that situation, first thing the ex said, if you want me to take care of you and the baby, you got to marry me.
Yeah. Again, another controlling tactic.
Absolutely.
Because then you are stuck legally. Not that there's not a way out, but then there is just another hurdle
Layer.
in the way to overcome to get away from them. Yep. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's when we'll start calling him Shrek, because I had to work through layers like an onion.
To get out, not in.
Well, no, we don't want back in. I want to be jumped out. Damn Shrek.
Yeah. That is so true in more ways than one. Yeah, I remember the...
Danny, do you want to fix your hair a little bit on the side?
Oh, he said me.
Good job.
Look at him, MVP.
I remember the day that you married him, and I so wish that I had been the older sister because I feel like if I was older and more stable, like 2 years older instead of 2 years younger, we would be in a completely different situation in life. Because from the moment you told me you were pregnant, I was so excited. I was like, I get a nephew or a niece, and I was born to be an aunt. Like, it's happening, And you were in denial the whole time.
Absolutely.
You weren't pregnant until you had the baby.
Absolutely.
Until
I heard him cry.
Yeah. And then I think everything clicked for
fine.
you. She was in the hospital, guys, having the baby, and nothing was set up in the nursery. My cousin and I rushed home to her apartment and put the crib and the bassinet and washed his clothes like you had done nothing. And but by the time you left the hospital, he was ready. Like, he was set up. But yeah, it's funny how life works out, and I'm just like, why couldn't I have been the older sister? We would have ran away together and lived, happily ever after. Like, that whole 2 men and a baby. It would have been 2 girls and a baby. But it didn't work out that way, unfortunately. And you did marry him, and that catapulted you into even more abuse and trauma because he moved you away again. Mm-hmm. And his family was a huge part of the cycle of abuse as well, because that's what he experienced growing up. They expected you to be okay with it too. And I think your motherly instincts, you struggled with that because they kicked in and you wanted to protect your child, but also you were trying to appease him and his family, which is so common in these situations.
It's a balancing act. And the problem is, in a lot of your situations, you don't have enough time to process or think things through.
No, but that's a tactic they use. Keep you so confused and so turned around that you're easier to manipulate.
The amount of situations that looking back, I'm like, why the hell did I do that? Because I had 30 seconds to figure out how to survive.
Yeah.
And it's from everything. And people think, don't get me wrong, there was a lot of big traumatic events, right? Like he wanted me to tattoo his name on my body.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to tattoo on like needles.
Yeah.
Like, it makes my bones feel jiggly. So I was like, no. But I had 2 kids with him at this point.
Yeah.
And it was our anniversary. He got drunk and proceeded to drive down the interstate and try to throw me out of the car.
Yeah.
Until I agreed to go get this tattoo.
Yeah.
Which I did.
And can we pause? Because I can already hear the haters online or, whatever, saying things like, why would you have another kid with him? Or, well, if he tried to throw me out of the car until I agreed, I'd have just told him, throw me. But that's not how it is. When you're in the situation, you say that because it's easy to say from the outside.
Absolutely.
From the inside, when you're in, you're in the pit, you're living it, not just observing it, it's not the same thing.
And baby, listen, I wish somebody would try to push me out of a car today.
Yeah.
Because we're going to put that thing in a wall. Don't call the police.
Yeah.
And absolutely, my tubes would have been tied so fast, I'd have figured out how to get them things taken out.
Yeah.
In the moment, I felt like I had nowhere to go. The support that I did have felt just as bad for me. And I loved my oldest son. Like he felt, it was love. I've never felt love like that.
Exactly. A love for the first time that was pure, that didn't require anything from you than just loving him back.
And I wanted that.
Yeah.
And so little man come along. Absolutely. I wanted something to love. I wanted something to take care of. And now grant you, the benefit in mine was my kids never got touched.
Yeah.
My kids were hidden from a lot.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people out there that aren't that lucky.
Yes.
And that may have been what kept me in line for so long too, because it would have took one hair.
Yeah.
And we would have just, did the thing, 3 hots and a cot.
Yeah.
But because I knew that would require him having full access to my kids without me being able to intervene and protect, I was going to walk the line as closely as I could.
Yeah.
And so just like with the car, today, I wish you would push me out. Let's redo it. Then I had to make it home because little man was a year old.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't want that side of the family raising them. And even as it went on, being locked in rooms, I was terrified of the dark from something that happened to me as a kid.
Yeah.
So he would lock me in rooms that had no windows, and he would take the bulb out.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, well, why would you stay? Because I can still take care of my kid in the dark.
Yeah.
I learned how to have a panic attack and still rock a baby to sleep.
Yeah.
And there does I just wish people would learn how to support.
Yes.
Instead of judge. Because once they get just over the molehill, like once they get both feet, because I don't know how many times that 1 foot got.
Yes.
And I'd be like, oh, it's not stable enough. It feels kind of shaky.
Yeah.
But I know how to stand on this shaky ground.
Yeah.
The familiar chaos wasn't as scary as the unfamiliar chaos.
Right.
But once I had both my feet on the other side of the hill and I got away from him, and I got lucky. I was blessed because that could have been.
So let's fast forward, if you're cool with it,
mm-hmm.
to the straw that broke the camel's back, because this was a extremely traumatizing event
mm-hmm.
and a canon event in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And because we could sit and hash out all those years of abuse, the details are different, but the story is the same, mm-hmm. I feel. But it ended up, you guys grew up, you were a little older, you were into your career, you had figured out kind of your footing in your career. And
it just started.
Yeah. And he had gotten into his career, which we're not going to bash any careers. We're not going to generalize, but he was a correctional officer. Mm-hmm. And so when you give a narcissist a badge and a false sense of inflation, it doesn't ever end well. Mm-hmm. And because of that, he had connections in law enforcement and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. And the day it erupted, mm-hmm. Do you recall what happened?
Yeah, the action I do. We had been having trouble. Mm-hmm. And again, this sometimes comes with a lot of backlash. I went to the hospital for kidney stones. I had fought kidney stones for years.
Mm-hmm.
Found out I was pregnant. People were like, how'd you get pregnant? First of all, in those relationships, you give it up. Sometimes it's taken.
Yeah.
I ended up pregnant and didn't know it. And that's what started the process to doomsday.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my shit in the hospital.
Yeah.
I was telling the nurses, absolutely not, get it out. Like, I flipped so bad that caused punishment because I embarrassed him in public.
Mm-hmm.
Which in turn ended up into him demanding activities, which caused me to lose the baby.
Mm-hmm.
I was immediately angry. I didn't want to have another.
And can we pause right here?
Mhm.
Because I want to be very, very clear when I say this. Sexual assault and rape can happen within marriage. If you say no, it is rape. I don't care if you're married, engaged, single, in a relationship. It does not matter. You are not crazy, and if nobody has told you, that is not okay. It is never okay for someone to take something from you that you did not agree to.
And let me touch on that. What I have learned in my healing journey. In those relationships, I had a hard time of going, it was consensual. It was consensual.
Mm-hmm.
When you spend days on end being called names and you get nights on end of being touched and groped and you say, no, not tonight. Don't touch me. I don't love you. I can't stand you. And they continue to touch you and grope you. And there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
There's no house to go to. There's no safe place to go to. You have to sleep at some point. And it doesn't matter if you go to the couch. You're not going to go in the kids' room.
Right.
Because you're already getting chased down.
You're not going to bring that to your kids.
You get to a point of mental exhaustion, physical exhaustion, emotional exhaustion. You get to a point of numbness.
And they lash out in other ways too.
Mm-hmm.
They will make you pay in everything, whether it's controlling the money, being mean to you, hitting you, taking the keys to your car away, hiding your wallet. They will
even go through a whole reform. I want to get marriage counseling.
Yeah.
But they stick you in a marriage counseling that's twisted.
Yeah.
Or rooted in beliefs that
you don't agree with.
No.
Yeah.
And then it's your duty.
Yeah.
So, and I digress. I lost the baby because of his action, and I was angry. And I just did my emotion just detached.
Yeah.
And so I was going through the emotion. I already knew he was having multiple affairs. So I moved to the couch permanently. In anything I could do to push him to go. Yeah. I was hoping somebody would fall in love with him and take him away from me. Because he wouldn't leave on his own. And I came home one day and he was frustrated. Our mom was really, really sick. Yeah. So I was bouncing between work and going to the hospital.
Yeah.
And as I came in the house, he was furious. He was yelling. And I was just detached. There was no reaction. And I remember him getting really quiet and him going, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, you were like a zombie. You had gotten to a breaking point that I've never seen.
Well, and I want to say it was within a couple of nights before that day, he had attempted to initiate.
Mm-hmm. You can say it.
And what he didn't know is I was sleeping with a knife under my pillow.
Yeah.
And anyway, he initiated. I said no. And he told me, it's not my fault. Your shit malfunctioned. And I was like, and I put it to his throat. And I was like, let me tell you something. I hate you. I really hate you. I don't care what happens to you. I just want my children.
Yeah.
I was like, don't ever touch me again. Like, we are for real done.
Yeah.
You live where you want to, but I'm for real done.
Yeah. And people may look at that and judge that and like, it should never get to a point of violence. You should have left.
And go where?
Are you listening to the whole story? Are you listening to the series of events? If you are going to judge, you can't judge it unless you've lived it, period.
No, absolutely not. And I can walk people through every part of where I could not go.
Yeah.
So he gets quiet for a couple of days and I come home. He starts with getting mad and he gets really quiet. because I'm not engaging. And I say, listen, do whatever it is you need to do. I want a divorce.
Yeah.
And that's when the threat started. I'll take the kids. Do what you got to do. I'll figure it out. I want a divorce.
Yeah.
You'll never see them again. I will, but I'm not going to argue with it right now. I'm tired. I want a divorce.
He was losing control of you.
Every
and
ounce.
panicking because all of his tactics, all the known tactics, stopped working.
He tried when those threats, he started talking sweet. And his favorite thing to tell me was, there's consequences to your actions.
Yeah.
Is this the consequence you want? And I was like, yeah, all of them. All of them.
Yeah.
Please. And as I was changing, because I was changing to go from hospital to work, he just disappeared. And when I turned around, I was like, damn, that was really easy. And I remember going, it's not that easy, and not caring. I was like, something bad's about to happen, and not caring. And so I walk through the house. He's not there. And I hear somebody knock on the door. So I finish putting my shirt on because I'm already halfway dressed. And I open the door thinking somebody's just knocking on the door because he's left. And I'm looking down the barrel of my gun. My gun.
Yeah.
He has walked outside, retrieved a handgun. I am looking down the barrel. He walks me into the house. He proceeds to tell me that I will never leave him. I will never take his children. There's only one way out. And I don't know what came over me. I knew I was panicked. I didn't feel my heart. I didn't feel anything. And I was like, you've taken everything. And I know it's so hard. People are going to think that I'm such a psycho.
It's so hard to hear because I just think I could have lost you that day.
And here's the other crazy thing about healing. I know people are going to watch this and think that I'm psychotic. I'm really not.
No, because
I went through fear.
Yeah.
And then I got from fear to like a stillness. And then I got angry. I got really, really, really angry. And then my last kid with him hit adulthood. And I was like, oh, I'm about to talk.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do?
Yeah. And so many, obviously you're sitting here today, but so many aren't that lucky. And so many families are left remembering their loved one and they didn't get out. And
this situation is not atypical of these type of situations.
Yes.
It was divine intervention. He held me at gunpoint. I'm not sure for how long.
Yeah.
I just knew I was going to talk shit until he took that breath.
So on brand for you.
I was so angry.
Yeah.
And somehow something shifted, and he did attempt to try and make me hurt him, shoot him.
Yeah.
And I was like,
which is also not uncommon because again, the whole end game for him was to control you. Even if it meant him killing himself, it was still going to control you. It was going to make you look like the bad guy. Yeah.
Here's the crazy thing about abuse. When I tell you I talked shit with every breath and I was prepared to make it my last.
Yeah.
But when he did that, that still had some type of hold on me.
Yeah.
And I panicked.
Yeah.
Somehow I got it, divine intervention. I got it away from him, and all I could do was hit my knees and start praying.
Yeah.
He walked out. He did. He left.
Mm-hmm.
And I just ran.
Yeah.
I ran and got my kids. I ran and hid. It was not, even then it wasn't. Called our dad, and he refused to help me at first.
Yeah.
I called the police, and I had an officer mock me.
Yeah.
To the point they detained me because I threatened him.
Yeah.
I was so angry.
Right. Because instead of being a safe space for you and an advocate for you, they turned on you And it was,
There was a female cop there.
yeah.
She was my saving grace. She was the one that actually helped me. I had to go rewrite my whole statement
Yeah.
because my statement was altered.
Yeah, the police department in Apalachicola, Florida is corrupt, or was. I don't know to this, at this point. But back then, it was completely corrupt from the inside out. And you had to have, thankfully, your attorney was a fabulous advocate. Shout out Rachel Chestnut, wherever you are in this world. She made sure to hold people accountable.
She did. She's what little bit I remember of being held together.
Yeah.
Because everything spiraled after that day.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just law enforcement. Like, he was never arrested.
Never.
He was Baker acted. He was taken to a psychiatric hospital for a mental health evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
They told me that they would hold him up to 72 hours for an evaluation. Within 4 hours, maybe 5, but I think it was within 4 hours, the mental health hospital called me to come pick him up.
Mm-hmm.
And I lost it.
How crazy is that? The hospital that's evaluating the man that just tried to kill you is calling the victim to pick him up.
I hit a stop sign.
Yeah.
I take the call, and I am pulling up at one of the 4-way stops.
Yeah.
And it scared me so bad, I just alley-ooped.
Yeah.
Me and a stop sign. And then
I remember.
I was trying to grab stuff. Our granddaddy had a camp.
Mm-hmm.
And I had went to him, and he had given me the key because my ex didn't know where the camp was. He was never invited because granddaddy hated him.
No, yeah.
And so I had gotten that, and I was trying to gather the kids and some belongings to run.
Yeah.
And when the lady called, she was like, "Are you in fear for your life?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm leaving." Like, they could have, I don't even know what all they could have done to me, because I was like, "Girl, I'm gone. I'm gone. I need 2 more hours. Give me a head start." She promised me that there was something missing and that they would hold him for 72 hours. They did not.
No.
They still let him out early.
They let him out within 24 hours.
And he came to the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was insane. And Rachel was the only one that gave me any type of, like, I really had to cling to her for the protection, because Dad was very iffy.
Yeah.
He allowed him to come to the house to get his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I
don't think men realize just how important that they are in situations like this. Because generally, a narcissist will back down in the face of another male. Mm-hmm. Especially a male that he knows he can't manipulate or strong arm. Now, you will have situations like what we just experienced this weekend, where Rich's sister, her ex-boyfriend, did attack him, and he's much larger than the ex.
He attacked Rich.
Yeah, the ex-boyfriend attacked Rich. And Rich had every right to defend himself, and even then showed restraint and just pinned him down to get and was talking to him. And we have all of this on video, was saying, "I need you to calm down. I'll let you up if you calm down. Do you promise me you'll calm down?" Which happens so much. And again, why men are so pivotal in situations like this. Because he was going after the sister, Rich's sister. And so, just like in your situation, had there been a man who stepped up and filled the gap and said, "You are not going to act like this. You're not going to get to her. I am a stopping point between the two." As a father, what an asset you are. You can prevent things from happening, and you can add a layer of healing, and a feeling of safety that women just can't get many other places. I know. You struggle very much with that, and you have every right to.
I do. I think I still am angry.
And you are allowed to be angry. You don't ever have to not be angry over it unless you choose not to be.
I had someone tell me within the past couple weeks, you got to let that anger go.
No, the fuck you don't.
It's just going to destroy you. I said, no, that one's mine. I bought it in blood, sweat, and tears. I'm going to do what I want with it.
Because wrong is wrong. And if you don't feel angry over injustice and wrongdoing, you're complacent. You're just as compliant as everybody else. Keep that. That is what we call a righteous anger, right? It is an anger that is rightly placed. Be angry at that.
Listening to the situation that unfolded this weekend, there's so much I want to just jump into.
Mm-hmm.
Because thinking back, there were so many times, there were a few times, random strangers jumped in.
Mm-hmm.
There were a couple that I know that's what got me through that time. Like, that could have been the time that your girl was going to glory. But somebody was like, they don't need you up there right now.
Yeah.
And they stepped in.
If you see something, say something.
Absolutely. And it doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
Like,
we've gotten as a society to a point, and correct me if you feel otherwise, that's not my business. That doesn't involve me. That's not my business.
Absolutely. What I tell you all the time, listen, I'm going to be nosy and watch. I might not mess with you, but I'm going to watch. Because I'm going to know.
Yeah.
That's the first. I don't know how many times I've done it with you. But normally friends, family, whatever. Y'all see me watching people.
Mm-hmm.
You let there be an aggressive body stance. You let somebody whip their head too fast, especially a man.
Yeah.
And it's not just for men. I've absolutely intervened when it's been a female going after a male, because I have 2 sons.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you real quick, we're not acting like that, girl. Go get you some act right.
Yeah.
Stop. But I will absolutely jump in, because I remember those times, those handful of times where I was like, this is probably going to be it. And this random stranger who looked like they couldn't offer me nothing.
Yeah.
Got me to safety, or at least stopped a situation to where it de-escalated enough that I could get my footing back.
Yes.
So absolutely, I'm jumping in. I'm going to mind your business and my business. I may leave you alone if it's not real big.
Yeah.
But if it is, I'm going to jump.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And people, I think God puts people in places for a reason. So, but yeah, so that was kind of the beginning of the end of that relationship, but it definitely wasn't the end of what you had to deal with.
No.
From him.
And that's people were like, why do you leave so many times? Because damn it, Brenda, we get tired.
Yeah.
Even after I left him, he took the kids a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
I would call the law. What the hell do you want a cop to do? They're going to tell you to go to court.
The corrupt police department, the same one that made fun of you and changed your official victim statement, and that one, that's the police department. And this is something that I recognized dealing with this situation this weekend. When we went, and there are certain things legally, like I can't file charges for her, for his sister. So all I can do is encourage her and support her to file her own charges. But the ex-boyfriend threatened me, threatened my husband, and threatened my children and their safety, which pissed me clean off. And so the problem for him that he didn't realize is that I have both patience and education, which equals a pain in his ass, because I did go to file harassment charges. And even then, when I went, they didn't want to pursue the charges. Mm-hmm. They gaslit me and saying it wasn't a direct threat. But because I have resources that other people don't have, I got my attorney on the phone at 11:30 at night. That is not normal.
No.
That is, I know that
not
is a blessing.
Has access to that.
Right. I know that is a blessing that I have, and I used it.
Mm-hmm.
Girls, use everything in your deck.
No matter how crazy it looks, sounds, or feels.
You have a right to using every asset that you have. And so I did, and I forced their hand in pressing the charges, and we got the commissioner involved, and there were warrants written that night for his arrest. And because of that, it gave her the confidence to go back the next day and file her own charges and get a protective order for herself and her daughter. And she knows that there's hope. Like, she's not, yes, it's still going to be a fight, even though she's in the best possible situation that she could be in, because she does have support, because she does have connections, to really great attorneys and finances, and she has a place to go, and she has people to care for her baby, and she now has the law on her side, that she is set up for success. And I know that that's also not a normal situation, but girls, if you hear anything I'm saying, and guys, because guys can be in abusive, narcissistic relationships too, listen to my voice. Push. If somebody tells you no, ask somebody else. I went through 3 supervisors before I found one that would help. Ask somebody else. Ask it in a little different way. Make the phone calls. Ask all the questions. When they tell you no, ask it in a different way, because what they're good about doing is manipulating information. Be annoying. You will get to a point where you're like, I'm annoying my own self. Then you're almost there. Keep going.
And I think it's important. And again, coming from a side where there were times where I feel like I couldn't get out.
Yeah.
When you don't feel like you have an option, don't let go of the thought of. Don't let go of the hope.
Yeah.
There were so many times I was like, the option is I can stay here, deal with it, take whatever it was he wanted that day, but my kids will be fed. And I get to bathe them, and I get to tuck them in, and I get to get them up and get them dressed in the morning.
Yeah.
Yep, it's fine. I can live one more day in this.
Mm-hmm.
But quietly, as time went on, right, on that Tuesday that I felt hopeless, on that Thursday I laid in the bathroom floor and sobbed into a towel so that the 2-year-old that I had in the tub that I was bathing couldn't hear me. And I played peekaboo in between so he didn't know I was crying. On all of those days, something would break through.
Yeah.
I found $50. I hid it.
Yeah.
I found one other connection. He pissed off one extended family member enough that they were willing to do XYZ.
Yeah.
And you just keep it in your pocket and you don't give up. And you must understand you absolutely are going to lose something. You have to start deciding what you want to keep, what is worth keeping, and what is not.
Yes.
Material items kept me in that relationship. I'll be honest. Material items, money, stability. It took me getting to a point where I owned nothing.
Yeah.
I have nothing from childhood left with me. Nothing. I don't give a damn. I will clean a house out quick now.
Yeah.
Move real fast.
Yeah.
But I got out.
With your life and your kids.
And some really good stories, because listen, once you heal, I can show you how to tell the story real funny and it sounds great.
Yeah.
And find your tribe. Slowly find your tribe.
Yeah.
You can't trust everybody. It only takes one.
Yeah.
It only takes one.
We're going to leave some information on the screen at the end of this podcast, that if you are struggling in a situation like this, or any of this starts to make you think twice about the situation that you're in, reach out. We're going to leave national information and also local information to Nashville. And never hesitate to reach out to us either. We will do whatever we can in the moment to try to get you hooked up with whatever resources we have.
And if there are folks out there that have access or knowledge to agencies, groups, resources that you don't see listed, maybe it's not necessarily in the state of Tennessee, maybe it's in another state, share that with us.
Yes.
Because I love sharing.
In the comments on social media is
Everywhere.
a great place, because reading through comments can't be tracked. Google searches. I know he checked up a lot
Mhm.
on your phone and your tablets and stuff. He can't track what you read on social media posts. So leave it in the comments below. Um, I think, the holidays are a really volatile time for people who are in abusive relationships. The stress rises just naturally because finances are tight and the holidays are crazy. Um, and so if you notice that a friend is withdrawing more, or you feel that you are in danger, immediate danger, and there's immediate threat, just be mindful. Watch out for your neighbors. And like we said earlier, if you see something, say something. If you hear something, you can always report anonymously. Always. If you hear something through your apartment wall and it sounds like something fishy, look, best case scenario, you report it and it's nothing. But what if you save someone's life and you give them that ray of hope that people are looking out and they'll be okay and they can leave the situation? So, Dani, thank you so much. I'm very, very faithful that you sharing your story is going to encourage somebody to just go on one more day or leave a situation or spark an idea or encourage someone to reach out and help. I know what you sharing your story means, which is why I've been so very hesitant to ask you to come on and share it, but I think it's needed.
Absolutely.
But is there anything else you want to share about it before we go?
The most important thing is if you have an opinion and it's a strong opinion and it's a negative opinion, make sure I can't see it. Because unless you are willing to pay and support financially, support someone who wants to leave their asshole ex, I'm going to need you to shut the hell up. The whole hell up. That's the important part.
Guys, thank you for tuning in. I know that this one was a heavy subject, and so if you've listened to the end, thank you, thank you, thank you. Make sure you share, comment, subscribe everywhere, and until next time, we'll see ya.